Welcome back to the Church of Marketing. This is episode
Something.
I can't remember which episode it is. I'll look it up. I think it's like 7 or 8 or something.
Yeah.
It's around there. But today, obviously it's still Connor and I, but today we're going to learn a little bit more about Connor, his background, where he went to school, what he's done for work, and just how he got to where he is now, the marketing goat, if you will.
One day, my goal is to be recognized as the goat
of
of advertising and marketing.
Yep, it's in his book. It's near the end of the book.
But you can't just go around calling yourself that. So I need to somehow convince.
That's why I called you the goat.
Thank you. I'll give you your money later.
There you go.
So I always knew since I was probably 9 years old that I was going to be an entrepreneur. I was the kid that was like picking plums off the tree, going to the neighbors selling them. And
selling them back to the person whose tree it was?
Yeah, exactly. And so, and when I was 11, me and my buddy started a curb painting business where you paint the house numbers.
The numbers?
We
like
made
reflective paint and everything?
Yeah, and we made bank.
Summer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 2-3 weeks, we each, when I say bank, for 11-year-olds, 20 years ago,
Yeah.
bank, which was in 2 weeks, we made like $300-400 each. I thought I could retire, which unfortunately,
as a kid, you technically could for the summer at least.
right? I bought a lot of, Mountain Dew and gummy bears, but
Those are good times.
those are great times.
That's such good. I'll still have the occasional gummy bear. Just
Hey,
saying.
they're so good. But no, so I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. But while I was getting into entrepreneurship and like trying to figure out the career path and everything, what's the best way to get into entrepreneurship? One of the things that I realized is that the companies, like I just didn't want to fail. Like I have more of a fear of failure than I have a desire to be successful. And at least when I got started, and so I really just was like looking at, okay, what can be the thing that gets me the best chances of success?
Yeah.
And so I went to a college for a year, a university, and I took every kind of class. I took an accounting class. I took a programming class. I took all of these classes to kind of see what I liked. Realized I didn't like anything because it was school. Got married. My wife had to finish her last semester in a different state. So we moved up there. I took the semester off.
Idaho, right?
In Idaho, yep. And me and my buddy, we were talking, and he was going into social media marketing at it's kind of like a tech college, but it's like a 2-year, but it's not quite a junior college. But he was getting an associate's degree in social media marketing. So I was like, okay, social media was still relatively new. And I was like, okay, marketing and social media, like that makes sense. This is going to be big, so I might as well like learn how to utilize it for making money. So went there. About 2 semesters in, I got a job working for a text message marketing software company, doing mass text messaging, which was still also very new at the time. People were still just kind of scratching the surface with email marketing. So I really just got dug deep into text message marketing, which was so fascinating because, you had email marketing, which could be so, ineffective. You can send an email out to 1,000 people and 20% are going to open it. And then, that just kind of felt like,
I delete most of the emails that come into my inbox.
Right. And it's like, it just kind of felt like, what a waste.
Yeah.
Of money, but where with text message marketing, you have a 98% open rate. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So, but the more I got into it, the more I realized like, well, in order for text message marketing to even be effective, you need customers or you need a phone list or something. And so, while I was there, I was consulting people on text message marketing. I was also doing a lot of marketing for the company trying to get new customers. And I realized that the most important thing was just how to get new customers. Like that's what every business owner wants. That's what every entrepreneur wants is, I just want more new customers. And so that's where I really put a lot of my effort and energy into really researching how to do that. And it was really frustrating because while I was at school, I asked multiple teachers and professors and stuff like, okay, how do you get new customers? And the answer was always the same. Like, well, you got to just try a lot of different things. I was like, that doesn't make sense. They're like, well, you could try and build an email list and then nurture that email list with value building emails and this until they're ready to buy. And like some people are like, oh, well, you can do post on social media and build a community and all this other stuff. I was like, I just want like step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. Step 3, do that. And like, or a formula or something like, if you do this, you will get new customers. And no one had that answer. And so for me, I was like, I want to figure that out. I want to solve that mystery. What is the best, easiest, most efficient, foolproof way to get new customers? And so I'd been researching it I read books and YouTube videos and everything, like as much as I could. I graduated with that associate's degree. I got a job working for an advertising agency. And so the agency, I worked directly with the owner, phenomenal mentor and guide. We'll have him on the podcast sometime.
Is he the one who was down in Arizona?
Yeah. So just while I was there, it was really awesome. I got the opportunity to really dig deep into advertising, specifically Facebook and Google advertising. And while I was there, it was just really, I got to advertise in all of these different industries, and I got to be talk to business owners from so many different types of businesses, and finding and it was really fun because advertising for a brick and mortar store or advertising for a life coach, that was the range of types of businesses I was advertising, which is very different than what most agencies are like. Most agencies, we're only advertising for roofing companies, or we're only advertising for Amazon sellers. We're only advertising for whatever. And we didn't do that. We just took on anything because it was I was the first full-time employee. Like it was startup central, like bootstrapped, like anybody who wanted marketing or advertising, we took them on. And so just being able to have this wide range of I advertised in almost every industry niche I think you could even imagine. Yeah. Lead generation, e-commerce, like Amazon, like just everything. And to me, it was great because I got to really start piecing together how to acquire new customers for these customers. Because, we had, for example, great success with a esthetician supplier. They sold supplies to estheticians. People who do like eyelash, eyebrow stuff. And the things that I learned there, I could apply to when we ran ads for the late Larry King, the guy that talk show and so he started a program and it was really cool because I got to work with him and his team and but I got to learn things here that applied to this that most marketers or advertisers would never have gotten those insights if they had just stuck with their one industry. So so I was doing that for two and a half years. But while I was doing that, it's just when you're deep into something, people ask what's going on in life. How are things going? What are you doing? And at the gym working out with friends or people, and they'd say, so what are you doing for work? I do Facebook advertising. Oh, really? This was back in a time where it wasn't normal. Like nowadays, everybody
popular, yeah.
Right. Nowadays, everybody and their cat runs Facebook ads or
their cat.
Yeah, seriously, like it's every single person's like, oh, I've run Facebook ads. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It was like, okay, great, So yeah, but back then it was just like, if you mentioned like, oh yeah, I run Facebook ads, they're like, oh, I need that for my business. Not because they really need it or that they really understand it, but like they're looking for the next silver bullet. And it was kind of like that time where Facebook advertising was the next silver bullet. And then it got oversaturated, and now everybody runs Facebook ads, and there's, we could dive into that another time.
Yeah.
But, I had a good handful of people who came to me that probably couldn't have paid the prices that the agency I worked for would charge. Also, they were my friends and family. They wanted to work with me. So I was like, oh, I'll take on, a buddy or two here or there.
Yeah.
Just run some Facebook ads for them. And I had some really great success running some ads for a couple of these clients. And it kind of got to the point where I was like, I should just do this on my own, because I'm making more from my clients than I am
Working full time.
But I'm putting in maybe a fourth the hours, which again, on top of full-time work, I was working a lot. So it's just like, I'm making good money. And so I set off on my own, had my own clients. And that was a really awesome opportunity to just step into entrepreneurship. Because what was fascinating was I went from working 50, 60 hours a week to working 40 hours a week, but 100% on my stuff.
Yeah.
So during that time, I wrote a couple books on marketing, and then fast forward 5-6 years later, I'm getting old. That's crazy.
You and I are the same age.
It's been a while. I've been an entrepreneur, like full-time entrepreneur, for 6-7 years now, which is to me a great accomplishment. Like just being able to provide for my family, be able to afford buying homes, and as an entrepreneur and everything, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
But years later, I found a business partner. He was a client. Mr. Jono. We'll have him on. So he had founded a company called Myostorm, which is a recovery device product.
They're great, by the way.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
I use it for every day still. It's the best product I've ever advertised for. It's also the most difficult product I've ever advertised for. But so we worked together for a year. He was one of my clients. And then it got to the point where I realized, like, I've got some of these clients that are, they're not good at running businesses, which is surprisingly not that uncommon. I think there's a lot of, the majority of business owners, they're really good at very specific industries. They're very good at specific tasks or roles in a business. And I do think a lot of them get very lucky. They have right timing. I think timing is way more important for an entrepreneur than necessarily. I mean, for me, it was great timing to be a Facebook advertiser and trying to get clients.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted it. At least everyone thought they wanted it, right? But yeah, so I realized though that like I had clients that I scaled up from, maybe $5,000-$6,000 a month in revenue to $70,000-$80,000 a month in revenue profitably, and they didn't know how to scale their business, and I didn't know how to scale their business. I'm just a guy running ads, and so. And Jono, he had people all the time asking him, who's doing your marketing? Who's doing your advertising? And it was like, maybe we could partner up here and work together. And so after a couple months of just like figuring out how it would work and everything, what we really want the vision to be, we founded Repp Labs. And what we wanted it to be, and we've been pushing Repp Labs to be, is more of, instead of just like an advertising agency, we want it to be more of a business incubator where we're taking brands, whether we're acquiring them, starting them, or working with the founder to grow and scale them, be a growth partner. And so since we founded Repp Labs, we've owned probably 7 or 8 companies through Repp Labs, a fulfillment center, production company, Sipo Studios, e-commerce brands, and we still do advertising for clients. But yeah, it's been a wild, crazy journey. But this entire time, everything that we've built, going back to the advertising and marketing, and the original thing that I've always cared about is new customer acquisition, is really honing in and solving that problem of how do you acquire customers and how can you acquire them as profitably as possible. And that's the foundation of every business we've made. So we own a Lightroom studio that we rent out, and we've just grown it purely through Facebook advertising.
Yeah. More of like a reach campaign with that one, right?
No, just optimizing for people booking, and we target everyone in Utah Valley and who has interests in photography and stuff. And it's been a nice little profitable business, not crazy profit. I mean, it's a Lightroom studio. It doesn't have a huge ceiling for growth. We're never going to sell it for millions of dollars, but helps cover our rent and it makes money, and but it's all been through new customer acquisition. And then as opposed to our fitness brand, J-Flex, which is home gym equipment, we've grown and scaled it solely through Facebook and Google advertising.
Yeah.
And so the principles of new customer acquisition are the same. You solve a problem for someone, you give them that solution. And but yeah, it's now we're at the point where it's just like we just want to start and scale as many businesses as we can, and just kind of be a factory or assembly line for businesses. But yeah, so that's the journey from little old 9-year-old Connor picking plums off his tree and selling them to the neighbors to today.
Nice. And you're still doing what you love?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Do you ever
crazy.
regret it?
I mean, I'm very bald now, and I do regret, not having hair.
But yeah, I mean,
no, I think it's gone exactly what's really interesting is it's gone exactly as I hoped, but there's been way more
ups and downs. Well, I mean, is it the frequency, or is it maybe just the severity of the ups? Like the highs are high and the lows are low, or has it just been more of a roller coaster?
I'd say both. I mean, it's like day to day, there's like, yesterday was great. Today's like, oh, hopefully this doesn't continue.
Yeah.
And then you have like phenomenal, like, holy crap, we just pulled off something incredible. And then there's days where like, holy crap, this could ruin us. And it's just like, and me and John were talking about this the other day. It's like the reason most people fail as entrepreneurs, besides not being able to get customers or clients, the number one thing I think is they have a backup plan. Everybody who has a backup plan will fail as an entrepreneur. You can't have a backup plan. You can't be like, well, if this doesn't work out, then I'll go do this or I'll go do that, and I could, it's like me and Jono, we're unemployable at this point because I could never have a boss because I would be the worst employee ever, because I would disagree with everything they say, because I know more than them probably. but two, and Jono, it's like we've developed all these skill sets, but they don't transfer to just a normal like role in a company. Like besides
they transfer to
running,
controlling all those roles.
Yeah, and being in charge of your business and everything. But no, I think like there's no regrets. It's been hard. The hardest, it's you just can't comprehend how hard it is until you go through it. And if somebody's like looking to be an entrepreneur because they want freedom or because they want to be in control of everything, it's like most people really don't want that. They just want the money, which takes a long time to come. Unless you get lucky and you have great timing, it happens. But majority people, I was just talking to a good buddy. They just sold a company for $100 million. It took 10 years to get to the first $3 million a year. And then it took them 7 years to get to $100 million in revenue. And then they exited with a 5X on profit. 17 years. People don't, like, you can't have a backup plan. There's no going back. And you've
No
gotta be
backup
ready.
plan and then patience.
And patience, yeah. It's just a timing thing. Like, I know we'll have those big exits. It's just a matter of when. And so, yeah, my personal, so do I have any regrets? No. Do I still love what I do? Yeah. There's nothing better in the business realm that I've ever experienced than building your landing page, creating your ads, doing the research on the customer base and the audience, launching the campaign, and getting the first sale. We just launched ads for a meal prep company. It was, I launched ads on Friday last week. Yesterday I came in, looked at the Facebook report, first sale, generated from the Facebook ads. They've spent probably $1,000 on Facebook ads and didn't get a single sale. I spent $90, got their first sale, and if they stick for a month, it's like a 4X on the ads. I'm like, I just turned it on and it worked. And it's just like, holy freaking crap. It's the best feeling in the world when something works. The other day, also last week, or a couple weeks ago, we launched, I had a theory about how I could remove a barrier of entry from a brand for new customer acquisition. And I had this theory, we set it up, we launched it, and it worked. And it was like, yes! And it worked better than I thought it would.
Yeah.
And, it's just one of those layers. It's like, every time that happens, whether it's a teeny tiny client, a big client, it's almost more rewarding for the teeny tiny clients, where it's just like, nobody's been able to make this work, and we did it.
Yeah.
So that's what I get to do on a daily basis, and it's just the best. It's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best feeling in the world, and I wouldn't do it any other way. So.
Well, that's good. Zero regrets.
Zero regrets. My wife definitely
has a few. Hopefully not marrying you is one of
some
them.
days. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. No, she's been incredibly supportive. She's been the best. She was my first real business partner, and she's still, on our board of directors for Repp Labs, because she still hears about everything and tells me what to do and gives me advice on everything. So, it's been a wild ride, but it's been great. No regrets, and we're gonna keep it on, and it'll be a good time.
Well, great. Appreciate you sharing.
Yeah.
Well, this has been another episode of the Church Marketing. Tune in next week for another episode. What that will be is yet to be determined, but there will be another one.
Yes.
So, appreciate it. See you.